Oh, Sig.
Hey, I got your text. What's going on?
Well, this is a new location for class.
This is where we're hosting class.
Yes.
Huh.
What's wrong with it?
Nothing, I suppose. It's a little bit of a jump down from the university classroom, but
I mean, you got
why did you burn
chairs,
that down again?
you got
An
windows.
abandoned. They're broken, and it's raining.
I love the rain. This is a construction site that's been abandoned. I
Yeah, I can
guess
tell.
whatever was being built here was just stopped halfway.
And that makes it the perfect location because
Well, it's secluded, and no one will be able to be hurt by our spellcasting.
I suppose
So,
makes sense.
Sig, how was your first mission? I guess you can call it that. I mean, you're not really officially an Aegis member, but let's just call it that
I keep
anyways.
getting mixed signals from that on that front, anyways. One moment it's a formal welcome to Aegis, and then the next moment I have no access to comms or an ETA on when I'll actually be able to take my oath. So, that's kind of it's a work in progress. The mission itself, though, it actually went a lot better than expected. It was interesting. All these things I hadn't experienced before. Fighting, really, I never done. It was
Oh,
impressive.
I just did that today. It's not
You
something to
fought?
exactly look forward to, but it's something you got to know
I
how to
mean,
do.
and it's a new experience, at least it was for me. I had never fought before. I didn't
You
do too much besides support the others, but
you mean you've never fought before, but you went into a mission. You know, Acheron was former military, right?
right. And I almost got a blow on it. Your point.
And almost, but you didn't.
I hesitated.
Well, I guess almost actually better than not being close. Might as well take what you can get.
Main thought process behind it. I knew that literally everybody else in the party was capable fighters. I knew they could handle themselves, but I also knew that I could aid them. Although it was pretty limiting, only knowing a couple things. The mage armor seemed to. Or I found that's right. I finally got to use the caster's tattoo.
Okay.
What do you mean? Okay, you ask me almost every time you see me if how it's working, and I always respond, "Well, I haven't used it yet." You aren't the
So,
least bit excited about this. It worked perfectly,
I know it was going to work
exactly as you said it would.
perfectly. That's not the point. I just wanted to know if it's doing good. Is it on this model? Okay. Yeah, I just want to know if it's working well, if you're having any sort of discomfort.
No, none that I can notice.
It's not about it
Am I
working. I
supposed to
know it's
feel
going to
something
work.
different when I've used it?
No, I'm just thinking if it hurts, I mean, you might want to do some tweaking to it or look into it, but it seems to be working fine. Sorry.
Right. Sorry. Sorry for it working fine.
Sorry for asking so much.
No, it's fine. Caution is good. But I gotta say, that mission was great. I've never seen any of those things. We went to this
Hmm?
painting, went inside the painting, and everything was a dream, but it wasn't a dream, and they couldn't see us, but we could see them. There was this sick king, and just shame I couldn't have written it down. It was insane.
Uh,
But
I don't think I
then came
ever,
the other side where
I don't think I ever went into a painting. Huh.
exactly, it isn't exciting. Although I gotta say, having a dead body that's on fire being thrown at me wasn't exactly on the top of my priority lists. It
Oh.
kind of hurt like hell, but I made it through. I'm assuming it's due to the mage armor
Which I had to
plus
put
the
on you just
potion
in
I drank.
case. So what if you went into that mission and I didn't do shit? So
Then I would have used the caster's tattoo on myself, and I would have maybe gotten a couple more scratches.
you do realize it just allows you to cast a spell without using your any sort of movement or verbal, right? It's essentially a minor shortcut I was doing for your spell casting.
Right. Well, you is that all you'd wanted to call me for to ask about the mission? It went well. I'm not dead. Neither is anyone else. As far as we're concerned, it's a mission accomplished. We've returned Cyan. To my knowledge, I kind of rested at home for a night.
Hmm, that's good. I'm good. I'm glad things worked out well.
Pretty risky, but
Except my mission,
all's well that ends well.
all of us got
You
pretty hurt. Even me with my power.
Did it happen tonight?
Yes,
I see you're, well, visibly bruised anyways.
thanks to Hyrus.
Nobody's told me anything about it. Every time I've asked, they've dodged the question.
And I'm going to continue dodging. Sorry. Maybe
It's alright.
some other time.
I'm sure eventually someone will let me know. But I'm guessing that pairs with the official member of Aegis part, which who knows how long that's gonna take.
Hmm.
I'm assuming I'll be added to the contact list after the fourth time I'm formally greeted in.
Probably greeted in, huh?
I've gotten formally welcomed to Aegis twice now, and yet here I am.
You even did a mission for us. I'll see what the frustration can be.
I suppose it's alright. Having a mission under my belt might at least up something for me.
How am I going to give you a modified mage armor? Ah, oh, that's how.
Modified mage armor?
Yes.
What kind of modified mage armor? What do you mean?
Mage armor gets stronger. It's like an invisible
Why?
armor around you. You might as well be wearing the armor I wear. But it's invisible.
Right.
It doesn't have any sort of special, like, qualities to it other than incorporeal can't pass through you.
Hmm. And you intend to teach it to me?
I've always wanted to. It's gonna be awesome.
What have you written?
It just says mage armor 1/2/3. And then another slash with a question mark.
Yeah, it's I think there might be something wrong with my eyes.
I wouldn't think so.
Right. So there's potentially three different forms of mage armor?
Potentially just three. This last one is going to be a bit special.
In what way?
I don't know. I'm not a mage.
Suppose I'll find out with time then.
Yes. So I wanted to skip putting this as one of your prepared spells
You
because you're
mean fun
gonna
to skip?
yes, because you're pretty much gonna be using this all the time. You wake up in the morning, cast a mage armor, you're good to go. But you know what I mean.
Right. Then how would we skip this?
All right then. You're lucky that mortal beings such as yourself can use something called a signature spell. It's two spells you can cast anytime, not prepared, and without it
Right.
having to be in your book. But initially it will. It's a spell you can cast with little effort. I mean, they'll be counted as they're always prepared and don't count against the amount of spells you have. So
Right.
the thing is, I have no idea what your second spell is going to be. That's up to you. But you will have Mage Armor as your first one. Because it'll be this special modified one I can teach you. They get strong. Oh, yep, they get stronger over time.
Right. Is it just over time usage or just over time? The more I'm asking if the more I use
Mm.
it, the more powerful it'll become,
That's
or
not
if
how.
it's more of a
No, that's not how
once.
spells work. I don't know why you're thinking the more you use a spell, the stronger it gets. You get the more powerful version of the spell. You know it. You put more power into a said spell. That's what makes a spell more powerful. Or that on your neck. Meta magic. I'm sure you know the Sock use it. During his divination, he called it maximize.
Right.
Maximize is something, a type of magic everyone wants. It's one of the most powerful types of meta magic. People will kill for it. What it does
Hmm.
is increases the spell to the highest level it can possibly be.
Without any other. Huh.
Just like that. But using meta magic uses a ton of mana.
And there's the downside.
The downside is it costs a ton of mana.
Right.
And if you don't know what you're doing, you will die.
Always good.
Hey, I'm gonna maximize the spell. Passes out. I guess not. When it comes to using meta magic, I can't believe I'm teaching this now, but whatever. You can only use it a certain amount of
Yes.
times. I can use it 4, maybe 5. You can use it
Right.
probably 0 for a whole year.
Hmm.
That's why I gave you that on your neck.
It's an all access pass.
Instant mana magic.
Single use.
Single use.
At least it recharges daily. It makes it more useful than not.
Can't believe you could use maximize. And I saw him use intensify, which is
He
even
also
crazier.
summons giant hand with what he called wild magic.
Suck. I'm gonna teach you about wild magic. Maybe later. I don't have the notes written down for it at hand quite yet. So, as I
That's
stated,
fine.
meta magic maximize allows you to cast a specific spell at the highest possible it can be. Say you
Right.
use I'm not sure if I want to show you this.
What, maximize or one of your spells?
Maximize. Because it's the second most powerful type of spell. Here, let me show you why. Okay,
We should
maximize makes the most
probably
powerful it can do.
start small.
And then intensify. Intensify.
More of a one level kind of thing.
No, it's above maximize. Intensify maximizes and then doubles.
Huh.
Imagine you casting the spell at the highest level it can be, and then double what it can do.
That'd be impressive. For sure. Devastating.
Holy moly, the arcane's crazy. I like using other meta magic that makes spell casting a bit more unique and easier. No
How's
verbals, no
that?
semantics. Make the spell go farther, make the spell go bigger.
Right.
Add another element to the spell, make the spell dark, make the spell light.
Just modifications.
Yes, very sought after, very rare. And don't you fucking dare tell anybody about this.
I won't also.
This is high level shit. Like, no shit, high level shit.
Trust me, I understand.
You need a lot of mana. You need to know what you're doing. You need a lot of practice and training.
And we're learning this now. Why? I won't be able to utilize any of this for a while.
Because
I understand knowledge is power, but
it literally gives you power. Sorry, Sig. I'm teaching that because you already
no,
have it. And if you get curious about it and start messing around, hey, how can I make a spell, be more powerful? Everyone was going to have it cross their mind every once in a while. But there is a proper way to do it. And there's a wrong way to do it.
right.
The meta magic is an all access pass, like you said. But if you cast a spell and just try to put all this mana into it, okay, I'm just going to cast a fireball, just put a shit ton of mana in it, try to make it work. It will do like maybe less than half.
Hmm.
Or you can maximize it and just go there.
Right.
And it still uses a lot of mana, but not as much as you just throwing random mana into it.
Pumping it all in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, boom, here's a spell that allows you to cast it at its highest, and it uses this amount. Or you could
Right.
just try to experiment and just put a ton of mana into it, more than necessary, and have it do it almost nothing.
What a waste.
Yeah, it's a slight waste. But putting mana into spells is only partially how to get it stronger. It's called casting it higher.
There's other parts I assume.
But even then, casting it higher, there's certain levels to casting it higher. And if you don't know how to control your magic and put a certain amount into the spell, then you use too much, too little, or just meet somewhere in between where it doesn't even do anything. Hmm. Like this. This wood thing.
Palette?
You see me produce a tiny flame on the tip of my finger. So
You trying to burn it down?
you think this will be enough? It's like this big.
Definitely not. I suppose you could start a small flame at the, or a small burn at the corner of it and hope for the best, but it won't get your results as quick as you want them.
Hmm.
Unless the
Maximize. Produce flame. You see a giant ball of fire like this, freaking huge.
that would definitely do it.
Ah,
And that,
right, no meta magic. It's only partially. So yeah. When you cast the spell, produce flame. You see a tiny flame appear on the tip of my finger. It's only going to ever be this big at base value. And you pump magic
right.
into it. Alright, it goes away. And I just pump a bit more mana into it. Produce flame. And it's just this big. And I do it again. And it's just this bigger.
You're just wasting mana at this point
Yes.
for little results. It's diminishing returns, if anything.
It's a cantrip, so it's alright. But anything bigger, like stock using burning hands, oh my. I saw him intensify that. I've never seen anything like it. He annihilated an
He,
entire robot.
he was just kind of throwing
Oh
mana away
boy.
from the looks of it. I suppose he has a lot of it, though.
He does have a lot of it. That's why I can do it. But you don't. And I don't. So, meta magic is used if you specifically need that spell to be at its highest level to essentially destroy your target. To
Trump card of sorts.
guarantee. No, not a trump card. He was using it like 6 times. That's not a trump card.
I meant for someone like me, then.
No. I don't want you to think of it as a trump card. Just think of it, don't use it when it's unnecessary. We were trying to survive. It's used when you have to take this down. Because you know this
Right.
produced flame is only going to burn this amount. And if you pump a bunch of mana into it and it's this big, it's probably going to even burn half of it. But you know for absolute fact this spell, dealing as much as it can to the target, will burn it down. The biggest downside
Surefire
to it
shot.
is if you miss.
You've wasted all that mana for nothing.
Because you know what I'm trying to say. You know the small flame's not going to take it down. Like, okay, so I
No,
know
I
what will
understand.
take it down. Whoosh. Boom.
Right.
And you're thinking, oh, even if I put a bunch of mana into this and try to take it down, the problem is it's only going to burn half of it. If you know for a
I understand.
fact, I mean, Sock took that sucker down and it went down. One shot. He was doing it pretty right. He was doing it right. Did pretty good.
Not being wasteful.
I'm just trying to say it is extremely dangerous using meta magic when you have low mana or don't know what you're doing. Because there is a chance you use maximize on a spell and just use it on this object, and that is it. Your mana is gone. One spell.
That would be less than optimal. Dangerous.
I'm not saying never do it. I'm not saying it's a trump card, but it's used if you absolutely positively know your attack, know your spell. Okay, it's just a little flame. And if I do this to it, it'll be like that, and it will take it down.
Only use it when it's certain. I got it.
Yes. I've only ever maximized a spell 3 times in 6 years. The first time was a practice, of
Impressive.
course.
How long have you known the spell?
6 years. Well, I don't know. I
I
mean, 6 years.
sorry, I'm still a bit tired from the mission. I spent all day resting the other day, but
That's why I'm trying
still
to
feel
teach you the
tired.
proper way to modify spells if you have the chance. It's not just pumping more mana into it. Here, let me give you an example. Because I showed you with my Produce Flame spell.
I understand I'm not supposed to just. I get the concept.
I use my Produce Flame. It does this much. I pump more mana into it. It's at this level. Pump more mana into it. It'll be
Right,
at this level.
right.
But I
No,
didn't tell you
I
that
got that.
these are never the same.
Right.
I use Produce Flame on both of my fingertips. This is
One will be
different than
different
this
from the
one.
other. Right.
This won't burn the same amount as this one. It's just how
The
magic
cause for the
is.
deviation.
That's how
Yeah,
magic
I
is.
gotcha.
It's never 100% all the time. As unless you do this. Maximize it. Guaranteed maximum damage. Guaranteed max out of the spell.
Right.
Guaranteed. You know for a fact it's going to deal its maximum. There's no variables. It'll be like, oh, maybe the last one I did will be a little weaker, a little stronger. Guaranteed what you want.
Always the same.
Okay, what else we got? Got my notes here. For that. Okay. Oh, anti-magic. We went over that. Can't use magic in the area. Magic items are can't be used, and any magic items
Right.
on
We
you
spoke about that.
are null and void.
We spoke about that during the planning for the mission, or
Literally your
for
worst
our
nightmare.
mission. Right. Because there goes half my skills,
All of them.
or all of them. Yeah.
Wild magic. only really affects you arcane users. Me, a little bit. Fucking hell, wild magic sucks fucking crazy. I guess because he's more specializes in it. Or yes.
Well, he even seemed concerned about using it. At first, he
Oh,
asked for permission, and then he just kind of went well wild with it.
okay. So he just okay then.
Things started getting a little dicey, and he said he had recently learned it and picked it up, and he wasn't quite sure if he should use it here.
um, what do you think the name implies?
Either I'm assuming it's hard to control, unpredictable. Well, not completely unpredictable, obviously, or else we wouldn't use it, but unpredictable
It's
enough for it to be an
completely
issue.
unpredictable. Completely. It can do
And he used it openly
yes. It can
in the
do
middle of the group.
yes. It can do pay attention. I don't know what type of wild magic he uses. There's two types. There's straight up wild magic, and then there's wild magic for using a specific spell. Straight
He
up wild
summoned
magic.
a giant hand.
Shit.
So
Straight up wild magic is literally a random spell at a random strength, or has a chance to do absolutely nothing.
surprised it worked.
Yes. I'm surprised it worked too.
I'm surprised he used it so openly given her group.
Um, wild magic with a spell. Random effect with the spell. Stronger, weaker, bigger, smaller, with an element. It can blow up in your face.
Right. Similar to the, I'm assuming the similar and or same effects as the meta modifications that you were talking about previously. Just this one you can't predict.
It can literally kill you.
So you're saying Sock's an idiot.
No, I'm saying Sock is
This is
impressive.
gutsy, I'm gonna kill you.
No, he is my teammate. He impresses me more I see him.
Right, impressive implies there's an amount of skill in this. Is there a
Yes.
varying level of
I'm
control,
not
or
assuming anything. I'm not sure his level of control. I'm not exactly sure what he was doing or if he knew what he was doing or how much he practiced with. I do not know his level of skill with wild magic. It could be the best ever. I don't know. Then if that's the
right?
case, then he's fine.
I'm just saying you're being possibly impressed by him walking over and going, "Well, I don't know what's gonna happen. Might as well try." That's not
I'm
impressive. That's stupid.
assuming that he was doing this. He's using wild magic in combination with a spell. That would be smarter.
Is there is there a spell that summons a giant hand?
Yes.
Huh.
What, want to learn how to summon giant hands?
No, I was just. I thought he had shot his shot in the dark and got lucky. But if he was just enhancing another spell, then
Maybe. I don't know. What did it look like?
out of character. I have no idea. He just a giant hand. That's what I got to go off of here.
Okay.
It hit really hard.
I would think so. Um, when I first heard Sock talk about wild magic, he usually just freaked out by it. And now he's using it? It's kind of strange.
He's probably been training on the side, if I had to guess.
How the fuck do you train with wild magic? It's literally random.
Shoot your shot and hope to make it, I guess? I don't know.
Well, mostly the benefits outweigh the downsides. Generally, I say about 7 out of 10 of the times you will have a good effect, depending on your level of control.
Still better odds than Jester's game.
There's that
Question:
one
Is
time.
magic sense blocked in the Purple Lotus?
No,
Exactly. That's what I said.
because it's an
Thank
inherent
you.
ability. That's out of RP. Mag,
Exactly.
it's
Like someone was giving me some issues about it. And I was like, I've seen it even used so many times. So unless we've changed something,
Sock uses it as a spell.
I told you how I got mine, correct?
Yes, out of character. That was out of character. I don't know that in character.
I thought I could have sworn he told you when we first started.
Oh, I think so too.
You asked if he had any other inherent abilities,
Oh,
and I
Sig. Yeah,
said
no Sig.
portals, and I believe
I'm saying,
magic sense.
yeah, magic senses. I use magic sense today. Whatever. Everyone uses that shit. It's whatever.
Hey, wait. Last question: Is there a form of magic sense that allows you to see like magical auras emitting from people?
Magic
I,
sense. That's what it does. That's its
that's what it
first
does,
level.
right?
Magic sense is its first
Exactly.
level. First level, magic
See,
auras.
this
Second
guy has
level,
no idea what he's
any
talking
specific
about. Then,
magic shit. Third level, hey,
right?
put School of Magic. No, second level, School of Magic and magical objects. Third level, specifics on the magic objects.
See, I told this guy too. I don't remember his name, but he was giving me all kinds of crap about it.
Yeah.
What do you mean sea magic?
A-
Sea auras and all that.
Like, out of character, not everyone goes by the same thing how Magic Sense was, but Magic Sense has been around for like a year, so I go with what people say. And then
Yeah,
modify my own
English.
Magic Sense to what it really is,
Yeah,
the
well,
longer you use
I'm
it.
calling him an idiot next time I see him. Screw that guy.
Yeah, that guy's wrong. Magic Sense in RP is an inherent ability.
It's the same. It's the same guy who has the soul. Who has a weapon called the Soul Eater that binds souls at the same time.
He sounds familiar. I don't know. I don't really deal with OP shit characters. I don't know. It's I'm like, oh fucking shit now. And I don't know. Like I just think that stuff's ridiculous. But would you bind a soul with a sword? What? Why?
Yeah, and then call it Soul Eater.
Which is an anime and an actual anime sword name and
Mm-hmm.
kind of both. But anyways, enough of that.
Contradict.
So yes, you can use magic sense in PL. I guess we could get on using magic or something. I don't know. So did you get the? Oh, from Adam, did you get those draconic books?
Yep, I got 4 of them. He said 2 were on language and the other 2 were on magic.
What the?
That's he gave me 4 books. I don't know what to tell you.
Hold off on those other magic books, 'cause I need to see what's
I
in
can
them.
just give them to you for the time being. He'll take out the 2 books. All yours.
I don't know if I can read those. I can't
It's
remember.
draconic. You'll figure it out. There.
No, I can't figure it out. You know, we'll just do this together. Fuck it.
Okay.
Or
It's
just
gonna be
read
better
over it
too.
to see if the spells are even compatible or in
Probably not,
character, not
but you
OP
never know.
shit.
Anyways,
Since you
moving
got
on.
your books, I'll just give you another spell. Why not? What you want to do? Got your draconic books, now you could write it
Well,
in draconic, and I suppose one of them helps you translate it over, comprehend it. So how much do you know
right.
yet, or did you just receive it? Probably just received it, didn't
I
you?
just received it.
Fuck.
Yeah, like hours ago.
Um.
Well, for talking new spells, what became
Crap.
apparent in the mission is that I enjoy the supportive role in combat. However, I don't have much to contribute. Um, is there any, not mage armor, a shield of sorts? I know you gave me a charge of a shield spell and a ring, but just anything I could do to assist in protecting those teammates around me.
Eh, not yet. There's nothing that low for you to do that specifically. Sorry.
So no assisting spells that are near my level.
Oh, assisting spells. I thought you meant
Then
like shield spells. Shield spells aren't low level.
not, yeah, not shield specifically. Just anything I could do to assist my teammates. I was moderately useful, but I still had other things I wish I could be able to do.
Hmm. Like what? I don't.
Or any restorative effects? Any sort
Trust
of
me, you're not going to be
buffs?
healing anyone as a wizard. Or sorry
And
about
I
that.
suppose I could move on to offensive.
I don't know. You're not really giving me a lot here, Stig. I mean, you don't have a weapon, so we can't really do anything about enhancing that. Or
That's
a lot of those teach you like acid splash. It's kind of lame. Throw a ball of acid at
well,
somebody.
we're looking into cantrips or the actual low level spells.
Both. I mean, you'd be able to
Those I said
use a good amount of.
Firebolt is a cantrip, correct? Under the evocation school.
You're not using firebolt
With a shot.
just yet, because you're going to know two more or three more. You already have the read magic spell, so once you figure out your draconic, you can use that to read magic. And then you're going to need three more. Actually, no, you have one. That'll be. So you're going to have four. So four. And then two. Yep, two more. Sorry. Two more. What can we do? Something.
Let's.
Usually, a lot of the cantrips kind of suck. Sorry.
It's fine. I had to start somewhere, right?
They're usually really minor things to. There's only like two abjuration ones, and one's blade ward, and well, that literally you just write a sigil in the air and it blocks like a strike. But it's mostly only for you.
Hmm.
That's really it.
Just mending. Yeah.
Mending takes about. It's not for combat. It takes a minute to cast it, and you're going to need a. Gonna need some magnets, so it takes a bit of getting used to. You can't just be start mending something in the middle of combat. Wait on me, you
Well,
guys. I just need 60
you said
seconds just to
no.
fix this little cut here. You'll learn mending sooner or later,
Fair point.
but not now.
Well, you said no. You said no firebolt. What about ray of frost? Or is that off limits for the same reason?
It's all right. Do you want to learn it? I mean, it's kind of chilling touch
We're
might be
staying away.
better because it's necromancy, so you can do it because
Well,
I gave you that ruby ring.
Right. Well, if we're saying necromancy is on the table, what about spare the dying?
You want to learn spare the
If
dying.
I was speaking of restorative effects,
That's not a
and I suppose
restorative
at the
effect,
cantrip
it's
level,
necromancy.
and you said it's on the table.
It is on the table. I have a divine form of it. It's called what was it called? Stabilize. It's conjuration healing. Do you even know if you're up to doing that?
I suppose if it'll aid in combat.
It's not a combat spell. It's for if someone
I
is
understand
literally
it's not.
dying and you save them.
Uh-huh. And that might come in handy in a situation in which we are all in danger and someone happens to almost die halfway through. Would it not?
Spare the dying. Somebody's dying on the ground. You have to come up to them and touch them, and they're still unconscious.
But they're alive.
Yes. You're not exactly ready for that, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, you said Ray of Frost was okay. I suppose if we're rolling the rest off the list, then that would be the next one. Or
Um, the thing is, Ray of Frost is kind of terrible.
well, here you said chill touch, correct?
You see, Ray of Frost isn't that good. It's not that strong, and if you hit against something that's resistant or immune to cold, then it's kind of useless. And it
You had
does
spoken
almost
of chill
nothing.
touch.
It's like I'm throwing your ass in a refrigerator for like a moment, and you're like all cold. You'd be like, you know, when you get so cold, like it's really hard to move. You just kind of like shoot it out as a ray at somebody.
Well, like I had said, chill touch.
I mean, you can use
So
that
does
at
that
me, and I'll
make
think you could use it on me, and I'll be like, oh, okay, it's it was something, but it's still a thing. But it's like, okay, let me give you an example.
Are we still talking about defrost?
Go over by those pieces of wood.
I cannot hear you.
I,
You're gonna have to speak up.
I didn't. I'm not talking. I didn't know you would go over there immediately. I was gonna. I was saying. I want you to go over those pieces of wood, and I want you to slowly walk over towards me,
Okay.
and then run. I mean,
Like away or towards?
run first, and then after you're at me, I'll talk to you about something, and then go back and then run at me, and then like I would use the attack on you,
The
and then you're
frost.
in front of me. Yes.
just overwhelmingly cold.
You're still alive. You're still kicking. Only thing
Right.
it really did is reduce your speed to the point where it's almost incomprehensible.
It's
So
useful, but I suppose it's better to have him dead than slow.
it's not slow enough. I can make I can show you how to make people slow. My entangle
Alright, you've.
slows people down and it can root them, and that's a cantrip. If I were to use entangle on you right now, you wouldn't move. I guarantee it would take you half an
Hmm,
hour to get out.
probably. I don't doubt it.
That spell is so weak that it's only really useful on like animals and stuff. If you're gonna fight anything more
Well,
than a person,
then moving on. What
probably have
about
to
chill
use it
touch?
15 times on somebody. Chilling touch is actually very kind of dangerous, but if you're up for it, then sure.
It seemed offensive or moderately offensive when reading.
This is the thing is I don't want you to know this is the second spell. It's necromancy. If you were to use it on a human being, they would probably skin will start melting and freezing over and they'll be
Right,
fucked
and
up.
the alternative of us getting wiped because I can't do anything
It's
seems
not
better.
that. It's not something common you should know. If I if me or you use chilling touch on each other, it's just nasty stuff. It's necromancy. There's like a
Your
ghostly.
first recommendation is
There's a
active touch.
weird ghostly skeletal hand will just come out and latch onto you. That's what it looks like, and then it'll
Right,
continuously start freezing and necroting your body.
and what about. Yeah, well, just go down the list, I suppose.
The thing is, it prevents people from healing themselves.
And that's the important part.
Yes, it's not something to use casually.
And yet, it's a cantrip.
It's necromancy. Like, I don't know, the gods categorize this shit.
Hmm.
Also, it's really good used. It's one of the only good spells used on the undead.
But you tell me I shouldn't learn this, and then you'll list as many positive sides as you can.
I'm saying you shouldn't learn it as a casual spell to just use randomly. Like a man, like unless it's something someone you really want dead, or it's a ghoul. Like, how are you gonna explain the hybris?
Suppose she wouldn't be
I
very
used chilling touch on a
boring, huh?
bandit we wanted to capture, and his body is all frigid and half his face is melting away. Oops. Sorry, hybris. That's just how my spell is. Nah.
Yeah, I see the downside.
Oh, you want to learn an ice spell in general? You want an ice spell? Then there's
I
chilling touch
don't.
that is not to be used, and there's ray of frost, which is terrible. But the one spell you can use is frostbite.
Right.
It's kind of in between. It's not a ray, it just kind of like shoots out. It's not a ghostly evil hand to lash onto somebody.
Necromancy, yeah.
It's like you cause frostbite to form around them and just like start freezing them. And it'll be so cold it'll be hard for them to hit you. Well, there's a higher chance for them to miss. So I guess that would be better if you want to learn frostbite. Its range, it's ice, and you can pump more mana into it to get it stronger. So frostbite?
I suppose so.
But
Sure.
then again, non
Ah,
spells that are straight normal, straight basic elements are. This one's not going to be easier. This I'm going to tell you.
none of them should be easy.
Oh,
And as
some of
much as
them
I
are
want to
easy.
learn more as much as I want to learn more party tricks, I don't think that's really going to help me in my favor.
When you learn frostbite, or that's a better frost spell. It's not for beginners because I don't want you melting people's faces off. I mean, yet,
Frostbite, uh, frostbite will be fine. It's is it a cantrip?
yeah.
Huh, I must have missed it when I looked at the book, or when I was researching rather.
Well, well, frostbite. I mean, you know what frostbite is, right? It's what the name implies, but you do it on somebody.
Yeah, right. And you said it is ranged? Around what's the range?
A good 60 feet out of characters, whatever you want, within reason. It's not too long. It's like a
Right.
mid range. So it's like all the way over there. She's like,
I think there's an enemy on the other side of this map. I just shook. Hopefully, it'll hit something. So, where do we begin?
we begin by writing it down in the book.
Of course, the fun hours and hours process.
I guess they could tell you more about it, but you know,
I suppose that's the most vital point.
you still have my magic book
Yeah.
of cantrips. Yeah, just do that. It's he just flips the
Sure.
pages. It's right here.
Alrighty.
So
I guess.
this is it in English. Just is it in English? I don't even know. I can't remember.
Sure.
Uh,
For sake of argument, sure.
so yeah, just be sure to translate this into Draconic and then that into your book.
Yeah, and
Oof.
that's gonna take a little time.
Actually, no, it doesn't. Shit, I keep forgetting. The the read magic spell. That first,
Right.
and then put it into a book. It's there, but it's not gonna take up a slot. Whatever, sake of argument.
Okay.
Then it'll allow you to read the spell and comprehend it easier. Whatever, and you can translate that into
Immediately put
Draconic
it
and then put
over.
that into the book.
Right.
Because spells like it's not written down like that. Like it's like it's just a bunch of like
But yeah,
symbols and other sort of
kind of like bullshittery.
words and
Right.
yeah, it tells you like everything about the spell, like the range and all that. It's complicated looking and looks like as much as symbols and weird sort of nonsense words.
Right. Well, it's gonna take some time, but or not too much time, but it will take time.
Let's see, you have one more cantrip, so I don't know. I guess you can learn Mage Hand. Everyone fucking does. You're probably used to
Mage
it.
Hand,
Instead of using a big hand, it's a small one.
and it is just for casual use as a hand, but not right next to me.
Over here. there like something small around here? Hmm. Whatever, just pretend that there's a brick on top of this.
After that.
You just see my ring start to glow red, and there's eyes have a red aura around them. You see me just lift my hand, and you see the brick just go right to my hand.
Huh.
Very cool. You just see the brick just lift
Magic.
up, and then go back on top of the pile.
So it's the magical equivalent of the Force, is what you're telling me.
Look again, activate your magic sense.
Sure. You'll activate his magic sense.
You see a
What do you see?
spectral floating hand,
Huh.
like a
And this is
ghost hand.
purely magic.
Yes.
Huh. I suppose it will have its uses.
It's really interesting. It's mostly used to manipulate objects, pick it up, put it down, open locked doors and containers. You can retrieve
Open
them or
what?
stow them. Yes, but open and open and unlock door. It can open a door that's been
That.
unlocked already, or a container.
Oh. Right.
It can retrieve the item from the container, or it could even pour contents that's even out of a vial. It only moves up to 30 feet though, and there's no attacking with it. It can't activate magic items or carry more than 10 pounds, which is the biggest downside.
Sounds like a lot of downsides, actually. Well,
It's
I
just
only get
very
so many of
specific.
these, so if
It's
you
a
don't
cantrip.
mind, I'll
You mean 'cause it's a
do some
cantrip?
reading. Oh, it's a cantrip.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You use it to get an object from
I,
range. I mean, it doesn't
I
even.
suppose no harm, no foul then.
It's like, imagine if there's like a window right here, right? Well, I can see that item.
Right.
I could just pick it up and have the item come towards me. And as long as I can see it, I can bring it towards me.
Right.
Let's see. And yeah, it's pretty good like that. Only lasts 60 seconds though, but that's more than enough time.
Especially if you cast it with a goal in mind.
But people can probably see it. It's
One
not
of the
really
downsides, I suppose.
invisible, but it's like kind of ethereally, kind of ghosty. But using your magic sense,
Right.
you'll really be able to see it.
I suppose we'll list those two then. I'll start working on Frostbite, and I believe you said Mage Hand?
Frostbite, Mage Hand. Let's see. You still have. No, we're not done yet. Might as well just get all these spells out the way.
Well,
Still
how
have
many would you recommend learning at once?
as many as you can at this point. Because we need to get some stuff out the way. So you got those two of them. So you're all filled up on cantrips. Now for your first levels, yay! Actual spells and
Yay.
stuff. So you're gonna know three. Technically, yeah. Fuck it. Let's just learn three. I'll need to double check on your signature spells, how high they can be. Um, I can't remember. I think it's like third, but whatever. Because I really
So,
want you to
which
get your
first?
signature spell out the way. In order to have a signature spell, you're going to have to know it like the back of your hand. So bring out the book again for. Actually, fuck, you don't have those. You don't have your first level spells.
Yeah, I only have cantrips.
I'm going to be giving you an awful lot of magic books. I don't want to give you the first levels. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of first levels. So, what I'm going to do
Is
this is the clutch time. You're going to have to promise me not to have the other ones in your book yet. Because it's a
the other?
combination of you messing the whole thing up by having ones in your book yet that you shouldn't have. I mean, you
Well,
can.
I'm not an idiot. I wouldn't like to think so.
There's a lot of spells that are the next one.
Well, where you have Mage Hand, Frostbite, and then what do you have in mind? You kept speaking of a signature spell. Do we really want my signature spell to be a
I really want your
level
signature
1 spell?
spell. It's not going to be a level 1 spell. It is a level 1, but it's not really. I mean, it's going to be mage armor that gets stronger.
Right.
And you can always replace it down the line.
But I suppose Mage Armor would be the smartest choice now, though.
Actually, no, you can't replace them. You can always get more. That's what I mean. Can't replace these.
Right.
Sorry. I was thinking of something else.
Nah, you're fine. So we'll be looking into
He
Frostbite,
reaches into his
Mage
bag of
Hand.
holding, brings out a book.
I'm assuming the level 1 spells.
Yeah, there's the level 1 wizard spells.
Thank you. I'll take the book.
You notice that the tome looks like there's like a weird sort of Egyptian looking eye on it with pictures of
Yeah.
rubies and inlaid with gold and a brown background binding like a book.
I assume this won't be in Draconic, will it?
And there's like a 1 on it, but in a really cool calligraphy symbol.
Huh. Well, thank you.
He opens the
You know,
book.
oh, never mind.
You just like see it flip open.
Right.
And you see the pages just start flipping on their own. Alright. You like, I'll highlight it. It's mage armor right there. Because this is very important. Because I've been noticing things have been a little crazy around here in this part of the woods.
Yeah, you can say that.
We're gonna have to get stronger. A lot quicker than I thought.
That's why I have glasses.
And if you do this right, then mage armor
Hopefully I will.
be something that's be pretty amazing.
hope so. Alrighty, so I suppose I should get all these written down, and even though mage armor is going to be my specialty, I suppose, or signature, I'm supposed to write down
it's
at
not your
first, right?
signature yet. It's gonna
I
be
said eventually, which is
yeah. You're gonna have to know it first,
so
yeah.
I assume I have to write. Yeah, of course. This will all take time, of course, but alrighty. So mage hand, frostbite, mage armor.
And he flips the page. He just like motions and the page flips. Second first. Shield.
Is that the same shield spell you put into my ring?
Yes.
Perfect.
I could use it. It's pretty simple. You see him motion over towards the that pile of bricks. He just has the mage hand just toss it at me. You just see the brick just hurling towards the sky at my head. Shield. You just see the brick just like stop right in front of me, just like it bounced off a wall. It hits the ground.
He'll use his magic sense. I'm assuming he sees it.
What you see is like a blue sort of shield around me, like a force
Is
field,
it like an actual? Yeah, okay,
like Halo or something. I don't know what to tell
yeah.
tell
Yeah,
you.
no, but with a bubble shield.
Yes,
Okay, so it doesn't form to the body or anything like that. It's just a
it's really
single
close
AoE
to it.
around you.
How can I say? It's like it is around you, like just like that, but it doesn't form to the body. It's just around your silhouette, almost like a sphere. No, sick, sick, no, sick. He teleports. Zig, the cops didn't get you, did they? You bastards! You took Zig from me. I will find you, and I will kill you. Zig, no. It says he's still online in the same world. What's going on here? If he crashed, then it would be kind of like. A power outage? I was like, if it was storming, I would have wrapped it up earlier. I'm hiding here now. A power outage. If he was having power outage, I would have. We'll be right back there, kids.